Hello students, welcome to the online class on mechanics unit 4 paper 1 which comes in your semester 1 physics. Uh, Myself and Chandana, assistant professor of physics from Government Degree College, Karatabad, Hyderabad. So today we are going to deal on the topic special theory of relativity. So let us see what is relativity first. What is relativity? See the meaning itself there in the word. What is that? Is relative. See, it's relativity. See there, relativity. What is relativity? Relativity comes in length, position, okay, time, and motion also. Now let us see one by one itself. What is relative? Say, whenever I remember this special theory of relativity to teach, remember one example which was given by my madam in my class, my teacher in my graduation, my UG studies in physics first year. What did she say is, there is a story regarding Akbar and Birbal. Okay, Akbar and Birbal. So what did they do in that kingdom? So Akbar asked one question that to all the wise men in his chamber, in his court, to answer a small question that he draw a line and he asked that to make this line smaller without erasing it. He asked the court men to make this line smaller without without erasing that small line. Okay, he drew a line. He drew a line. He asked the members of the court, his wise men. He has many teams of wise men, but among them, all know that Birbal is the wisest one, right? So he asked them to make it smaller than this without touching the line. So what everyone was in shock, doubt. So what could be the answer? What could be the answer? What could be the answer? Okay, and even I'm asking you now, what could be the answer? Then Birbal has come with one answer, that he has drew a taller line than this, a line which is of more length than of this what? Of this one. Okay, about then this line, this line is taller than this line. So which means that this line is smaller one now. So without erasing it, without touching it, you could able to, sorry, he could prove that this line is smaller than this one, right? So smaller to this one. This means that he could prove this in what sense? In relative sense, in relative. So this is smaller to with respect to this line, right? So this comes as a relative. It's a relative property. If I drew a small line near to this, I can say that this line drawn by this Akbar, okay, was uh, of more length than of this my shorter line, right? So this appears to be uh, taller when I compare with this one, and it appears to be smaller when I compare with this line, right? With this line. So this was given by Birbal. So extraordinary thinking by him. So he had a good life with Akbar as a wise man of at that time, at the point of time in his chamber, right? So similarly, what can I say here? That is the length is relative. So relative the length. Okay. See here, if you compare this red fish, now I'm taking this red shark. Okay, this is a shark. See, now I'm comparing this shark, okay, with this gray one. See, when I compare with the gray one, this is appearing to be smaller one, smaller. But here, when I compare with this purple one, this is smaller. The purple one, this is larger. So purple one is smaller than this. So red one is larger when compared to purple one, and it is smaller when I compare to with the gray one. Right? So length is relative. So length is relative. One of the property of relativity is length. So length is relative, we can say. What else we can say? Even the position is relative. The position is relative. So where are you standing? So here the Saina Nehwal is standing in the center. So she got gold, right? Now here Sindhu is there here and the other player is there here. Now what's happening? See, so I'll ask a question to Sindhu. Where is Saina Nehwal standing? So what she will say? She is exactly on the left of PV Sindhu. She is left to me. Who will answer this? Sindhu. And I'll ask the same question to this lady who won bronze medal. I think it's in Commonwealth Games they have won. So I'll ask this girl, where is Saina Nehwal? Then what this girl will answer? That she is exactly on right to me because she is exactly on right to her. Here she is on the left to her. In both of these answers, they are correct, right? She is correct and she is correct. But what we can say is the position is relative. Position is relative according to Sindhu and the other girl who won the bronze. So, but Sindhu is standing exactly at left of this. Nehwal is standing exactly next to Sindhu and right of this girl. So the position is also relative. We can explain. Then comes size, right? So size is also relative. So what is size meant to be? Here I have taken our planets. Okay, I've taken 5 of our planets. See here the size is also relative. See here, if I example I take Venus or else I'll take Mars. Okay, Mars. It's very good exploring going on, space exploration on Mars, right? So what is now I'll let me have this chance to talk on Mars. So now see Mars when compared to Mercury, it is of bigger size, like bigger size, more size. But when I compare with the Earth, Mars is of smaller size, right? But when compared with Mercury, it is of bigger size. When I compare with the Earth, it comes to be smaller size, Mars. Means the size is also relative. Size matters, right? Size always matters. So size matters, position matters, and length also matters. It all can be dealt under relative. They are all relative. Even the time is relative, right? Okay. Now, if you're in India, you'll experience a different timing. When you go to Australia, you'll experience a different timing, right? And this is towards east we are going. Now, when we go to the Western countries, when it is in USA or America, what you understand, the timings are different there. Okay. But according to this USA person, the timing is correct. According to Indian, it's correct. And according to Australian, it's correct. But see, based on the distance also, the time matters. So the time vary. So the time is relative. Time is also relative. Okay. And last one is motion. See here. Motion is also relative. Motion. See, uh, if this boy who is sitting, who is inside the train, if he throws the ball upward, right? He is just standing inside. He's moving with the velocity of the train, right? Now, if this boy throws the ball upward, then what happens? When he moves, because he's moving along with the train, right? Even the ball moves along with the train. So what happens? The ball will appear for him to be like upward and directly coming downward in the same direction, right? But that is not true because this man, as he is traveling along with the train velocity, he is also fixed to this frame of reference of this train. Okay, so it appears for him to be like up and down the same way in which direction the ball has thrown up will come back in the same direction to the boy again. But for the person who is at the rest in the platform, who is at rest velocity, that is velocity is 0, then what do he observe? He observes that the ball doesn't move upward and directly downward, but it takes a parabolic path. It takes a parabolic path. See, in this way, parabolic path. So this is called parabolic path. Okay. Why he is observing in that way? Because he is there in rest frame here. He is moving along with the earth, right? He is in the earth frame of reference, and this boy is inside the train which is moving with some velocity. So what is happening to the observer? The ball has the same horizontal velocity as the train, right? Right here. So what do he observe here? This observer, what does he observe here? Observes that the body will also move along this horizontal velocity, like in this way. Okay, right? But for him, there won't be any horizontal component because he feels that he is at rest with respect to this train. He feels that he is at rest with respect to this train, right? That's the reason he observes only like the ball went upward and again it has come downward in the same direction. So we can say that the motion is relative. Okay. Okay, students. So what all the things are relative now? Length, position, size, time, and motion. All these five are relative. Okay. Now the theory which deals with the relative of relativity of motion and rest. Motion and rest is called theory of relativity. What does it say? It says it talks on the body is moving with some uh, motion with some velocity that those are in motion, and also in rest they are having velocity 0. So based on the motion and rest, the theory which deals the relativity of motion and rest is called theory of relativity. Okay, students. So we have observed that the length is relative, position is relative, size is relative, time is relative, and at last the motion is also relative. Okay. Now, according to theory of relativity, it got splitted into two types, right? What all those two types? Okay. Uh, See, two parts it has been separated into. One is special theory of relativity. The other one is general theory of relativity. See, in your course, we are dealing on special theory of relativity. This is your chapter. Presently, we are doing that. So here also we deal on object source systems, entire system or any object we take. Okay. But here in special theory, entirely we are talking about constant speed. The velocity is constant, the constant velocity, or the bodies which are at rest with respect to each other. So if I take two systems, S1 and S2, if they are moving with relative velocity with respect to each other, or else at constant speed, or else we are at rest, then such type of uh, systems are this study of relativity comes under special theory of relativity. It comes under special theory of relativity. But in general theory of relativity, it's a contra to that of special theory. Here what we observe is, here also the same objects or systems or frames what we observe, but they'll be speeding up slowly, like they'll be speeding up or slowing down gradually. That means if the velocity is v at starting, it will be slowly increasing. If it is 10 meter per second, if it starts increasing to 20 meter per second and so on. So the velocity is increasing slowly, or else the velocity gets decreased slowly, like in parts. So this type of speeding up or slowing down of uh, objects or systems based on relativity comes under general theory of relativity. So the other one is special theory of relativity. Okay. So these two parts are very important when studying the theory of relativity. So among that, we always deal on special theory of relativity here in your concept. Okay. One more thing I just want to mention is that the special theory of relativity was given by Albert Einstein in 1905. Okay, but what is this theory? This is nothing but it's a generalized form of classical mechanics. Generalized form of classical mechanics or Newtonian mechanics. Classical mechanics. It's a generalized form of classical mechanics or Newtonian mechanics. Okay, say, but it classical mechanics or Newtonian fails when it is applied to high speed particles or subatomic particles, microscopic systems, right? Microscopic system, classical mechanics fail. Microscopic particles or like atomic bodies, right? For planetary bodies, for huge masses, this Newtonian mechanics is highly applicable. But for high speed particles, microscopic particles like electrons, protons, and all subatomic particles, this fails. This Newtonian mechanics fails. Hence, so the special theory of relativistic mechanics for particles with high speed, okay, but they are much less than that of speed of light, but they are of high speeds, have come into picture. Okay, for example, nuclear reactions, nuclear interactions, and subatomic phenomena. Subatomic phenomena. We apply for subatomic phenomena. We apply to study all these reactions, and also the movement of electrons around the nucleus, and proton-proton interactions, nucleons interactions, and all this comes under generalization of Newtonian mechanics into special theory of relativity. Understand? So this theory was proposed by Albert Einstein. So in this way we can understand the theory of relativity. See, it modifies Newtonian mechanics and makes it applicable to particles which are approaching the velocity of light, less than the velocity of light. That is, what is velocity of light? 3 into 10 power 8 meter per second squared. Okay, sorry, it's meter per second. Meter per second. Okay, acceleration is of velocity by time, right? So there you'll find meter per second square. But here when I talk about velocity, here it comes to meter per second. Okay. Now we have, see, I have already told you it's important to microworld and subatomic phenomena of nuclear interactions like proton, proton, neutron, neutron, meson theory, nuclear fission, nuclear fusion. What are the things you want to explain? You go for a special theory of relativity. Okay. Now let us go for frame of reference. Already we have done this in our mechanics, Newtonian mechanics, right? So what did we do there? The motion of a body has no meaning, okay, until we have learned frames of reference in our Newtonian mechanics, when I have talked in your other chapter. It's in your second chapter, Newton's laws. What did we explain there? Say frame of reference means through a respective frame, we can explain the entire motion of the system. Okay, entire motion of the system. If I take a particle here, I can explain the velocity of the particle here by using this frame of reference. If all the Newton's laws are valid in this frame of reference to all the particles, or else the system for the system, then this type of frame is called inertial frame of reference. I have told you, inertial frame of reference, right? Here, with respect to each other, what happens? Each body will travel with either constant velocity, or they'll be at rest, right? Until and unless an external force is applied on them. This is nothing but Newton's first law, law of inertia, right? Law of inertia. So in this way, we define the inertial frame of reference. So any system relative to which the motion of an object can be described is called a frame of reference. Okay. So with respect to that frame, I am able to describe the motion of this particle P. Okay. The position of the particle, the velocity of the particle, the momentum of the particle, the energy transferred by this particle to any object. So what all the properties we can study, it's only because of this frame of reference. With respect to this frame of reference, I am able to give you that thing. Okay, so this is called frame of reference. So there are two types of frames of reference, as I have told you. They are inertial and non-inertial. So non-inertial is nothing but accelerating frames of reference. Either they are slowing down or speeding up or slowing down. That means the acceleration is there. Okay, such type of frames of reference are called non-inertial frames of reference. But here, a body not acted upon by the external force is at rest or moves with a constant velocity, right? That means what is that? What is that? Newton's first law, that is law of inertia. So this is valid here. Hence Newton's laws are valid here and Newton's laws are not valid here. Okay, so you have to remember the frame of reference first. We have done that, and based on this we have derived that equation also. Like if I take my force, that is equal to F is equal to ma according to Newton's second law. If I take, I'll write down here, m into d square x by dt square. That is my force, right? F equal to ma, second law. Now because my external force is 0, m is equal to 0. So d square x by dt square equal to 0. Is not equal to 0. Hence d square x by dt square equal to 0. That means what happens? D by dt of x of d by dt, right? D square x by dt square means. What is dx by dt, ma? Velocity, exactly. So velocity, horizontal component of velocity in x direction. So d by dt of ux equal to 0 implies what is constant? Ux is constant. So the velocity is constant when there is no application of external force. Okay, or else ux is 0. This type of case can be mm, uh, this can be studied under inertial frames of references. The non-inertial frame, Newton's laws are not valid. They are not valid. Okay, they are not valid. So here, this we can say that without the application of an external force, a body continues to be in motion of either with constant velocity or at rest. But here, what happens? It is different. Okay. Now let us go for the summary. We have a detailed explain what is relativity, position, mass, length, and time. Right? We have explained in position, length, mass, sorry, position, length, time, and motion. And one more important thing is size. So we have done this 5, right? Next, what is special theory, which comes under frame systems which are under objects or systems or objects under at rest or in constant velocity, like inertial. But here in general theory, we go about accelerating up or else accelerating down. We have frames of reference, as I told you before, different class. We have inertial frames of reference and non-inertial frames of references. Okay, so based on this concept, we can explain the relativistic motion of any particle or any object which is under certain frame of reference. We can easily understand and thoroughly derive the equation of motion of any body. Okay, students. So let me go again. So what did we do? We have done that the length is relative. Then the position is also relative. Size is relative. Time is relative. Motion is relative. So theory of relativity, 2 types. Then 1905 we have this. And then the importance also we have explained. Then the frame of references. Then we have 2 frames. They are inertial and non-inertial frames of reference. Okay. So thank you so much, students. And in the next class, we'll be dealing about Galilean transformations. Okay. And also we'll I'll explain you that Michelson-Morley experiment. And let us go in detail about the result, what the experiment has given. And also Galilean invariance also I just want to explain to you all. Okay. So then in the next class, I'll explain you Lorentz transformations. So thank you so much, students, for your patient listening. Thank you and all the best. Take care.